Commander Jun Park stood tall as he walked into the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. The room was huge, with a high ceiling that seemed to touch the stars. Aliens from 100 worlds sat in seats that rose up like a bowl. They all looked down at him. Jun felt small, but he did not show it. He carried the hopes of all humans with him today. "Representatives of Earth," said the head council member, a blue-skinned alien named Cal. "We have reviewed your application again." Jun's heart beat faster. Earth had tried 3 times before to join the council. Each time, they were told to wait, to improve, to become more civilized. "The council has decided," Cal continued, his voice cold, "that humans are still not ready to join us." The words hit Jun like a physical blow. He had been so sure this time would be different. Earth had stopped its wars. They had cleaned their planet. They had built ships that could travel between stars. "May I ask why?" Jun kept his voice steady. A tall, thin alien with 4 arms stood up. "Humans are too aggressive. Your history is full of violence. You solve problems with force." Another council member added, "You are unpredictable. You do not follow logical paths. The council cannot risk bringing such chaos into our order." Jun wanted to argue, to tell them how much humanity had changed. But he saw the decision, and 5 years passed quickly. Earth worked in secret, away from the council's watching eyes. Chief Engineer Da Yun stood on the surface of Kepler 442 bits, looking at the new colony taking shape before him. Workers moved back and forth, building homes, labs, and farms under the light of a distant orange sun. "New Seoul," Daz said with pride. "Our first true colony beyond council space." His assistant, Jay, checked the readings on her tablet. "The air filters are working well. In 3 more months, people can breathe outside without masks." Day nodded. They had chosen this planet carefully. It was far from main travel routes, but had everything humans needed: water, good soil, and minerals. Most importantly, the council didn't care about this part of space. "The farming team reports the first crops are growing faster than expected," Jay added. "Good. We need to be self-sufficient before." Daz's comm unit beeped. Incoming message from Captain Lee on the Pathfinder. He tapped the device on his wrist. A small hologram appeared, showing the face of Captain Subin Lee. "Da, are you alone?" Subin looked excited, but also worried. "Just Jay is with me." "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. But I found something. Or someone. My team and I were mapping the Ta CD system when we detected an artificial signal. We found a ship, Da. Not human. Not council." Day's eyes widened. "First contact." "Yes. They call themselves the Verax. They look a bit like tall humans with gray skin and 4 fingers. And the council rejected them too, 30 years ago. This was not in the plan. Project Phoenix was supposed to stay hidden, building human strength before revealing themselves." "Did you speak with them?" Day asked. "Yes. Their leader, Coda, told me their story. The council said they were too resourceful and might upset the balance of trade. The real reason: the Verax found a way to mine asteroids more efficiently than anyone else." Day rubbed his chin. "What did you tell them about us?" "The truth. That we're building in secret too." Coda laughed and said maybe the council did us both a favor. This could change everything. An ally could help Earth grow faster, but it also meant risk. "I need to call the president," Daz said. President Hannah Kim sat with her advisors in the secure room beneath the White House. They watched Subin's report about the Verax. "They have better engines than we do," Subin explained. "And their mining technology could help us build colonies twice as fast." Admiral Wu frowned. It could be a trap. The council might have sent them. Jun Park, now governor of New Seoul, shook his head. "The council doesn't work that way. They ignore problems until they become too big to ignore." Hannah stood up and paced the room. "What do these Verax want from us?" "A home," Subin replied. "They've been wandering for decades. They have 23 ships with about 12,000 people. They're tired of running. And they'd share their technology? Hannah asked. Yes, Coda said. Those who are pushed aside should stand together. Hannah looked at each person around the table. Votes. One by one, they gave their opinions. Some were cautious, others excited. In the end, most agreed. The potential benefits outweighed the risks. Captain Lee, Hannah said, tell Coda we accept their friendship. Offer them a place to settle near New Seoul. But move carefully. Trust must be earned on both sides. Soo Bin smiled and nodded before her image disappeared. Hannah turned to her advisors. This changes our timeline. If the Verax technology is as good as it seems, we can expand faster. The Council will notice sooner, Admiral Wu warned. Then we'd better be strong enough when they do, Hannah replied. Double the shipbuilding program and send more colonists to New Seoul. As the meeting ended, Jun stayed behind with Hannah. Do you think we're moving too fast? He asked quietly. Hannah looked at the star map showing Earth's small but growing territory. The Council had thousands of years to build their power, she said. We don't have that luxury. We need to be bold, Jun. Careful, yes, but bold. She pointed to empty spaces on the map. There are 12 more systems we can settle this year, and with Verax's help, maybe 20 next year. Jun smiled slowly. From begging for a seat to building our own table. Exactly, Hannah said. And we're just getting started. In space, the ESS Pathfinder and the Verax flagship moved side by side toward New Seoul, the beginning of an alliance that would shock the galaxy. 10 years had passed since Earth began Project Phoenix. What started as one colony had grown into a network of 37 human settlements spread across the stars. Administrator Jin-ho sat in his office on Phoenix Prime, the massive space station that served as headquarters for Earth's growing empire. Through the large window, he could see ships coming and going, cargo vessels, colony transports, and the new military ships with Verax engines. Sir, the weekly reports are ready, said his assistant, bringing in a datapad. Jin-ho scrolled through the numbers with satisfaction. New mining operations in the Ta City system. 3 million colonists now living on New Seoul. Trade agreements with the Verax working perfectly. His comm unit chimed. Administrator, Admiral Kim requests an emergency meeting. Jin-ho frowned. Admiral Taiwan Kim rarely called emergency meetings unless something was wrong. Send him in. Admiral Kim entered, his face serious. He was a tall man who had served in Earth's space forces for 20 years. We have a problem, Taiwan said. Council ships have discovered our colony in the Epsilon Eridani system. Jin-ho felt his stomach tighten. This was the moment they had prepared for, but hoped to delay a few more years. How many ships? 3 patrol cruisers. They've demanded we abandon the colony immediately. They claim the system falls under their protection. Jin-ho pressed a button on his desk. A holographic map appeared, showing Epsilon Eridani's position. That's not true. It's outside their declared borders by at least 12 light years. Yes, but they're stretching the rules. They know we're there now, and they're testing us. Jin-ho thought carefully. How many ships do we have in that sector? 5 Defenders and the new battleship Thunder. All with Verax engines. We can outrun the Council ships if needed. And the colony? 8,000 people. Too many to evacuate quickly. Jin-ho made his decision. Contact President Yoona. Hannah Kim had finished her term years ago, and Yoona Choi now led Earth's government. Within minutes, President Yoona's face appeared on screen. Jin-ho and Admiral Kim explained the situation. We knew this day would come, Yoona said calmly. We will not abandon our people. Admiral, take the Thunder to Epsilon Eridani. Show our strength, but do not fire first. Yes, Madam President. Jin-ho, prepare a diplomatic message. Tell the Council that Epsilon Eridani is a legal human settlement on unclaimed territory. We are open to discussions, but we will not leave. 2 days later, Admiral Ta 1's ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Epsilon Eridani. The three council ships looked small compared to the Thunder. Open communications, Ta 1 ordered. The face of a lizard-like alien appeared on screen. This is Captain Zex of the Council's security force. You are in violation of Council space. Remove your colony within 3 days or face consequences. Tai 1 kept his voice calm. Captain Zex, I am Admiral Kim of Earth. Our records show this system is unclaimed. Our colony has been here for 3 years. We will not leave. Your records are wrong. Human. The Council. The Council rejected Earth's membership 4 times. Tai 1 interrupted. We respect the Council's actual borders, but we will not accept false claims. The alien scales darkened with anger. You have advanced ships, technology that looks familiar. We have friends, Captain, just as the Council does. This will be reported to the High Council. We would welcome proper diplomatic talks, Tai 1 replied. But until then, we stay. The connection ended. Tai 1 watched as the Council ships moved back, keeping a distance from the Thunder. They're scanning us, sir, reported his sensor officer. Let them look. They need to understand we're not the same humans they rejected 10 years ago. After a tense hour, the Council ships turned and jumped away. They're retreating. Admiral. Tai 1 nodded. For now. Call Administrator Jinho. Tell him we need to strengthen our defenses here. The Council will be back. Down on the planet, the colonists gathered in the main square to watch the Thunder hovering protectively in their sky. For the first time, humans had stood their ground against the Galactic Council. On Phoenix Prime, Jinho received the news with mixed feelings. Earth had won this small battle, but the real war was just beginning. He sent orders to speed up construction of more ships and to strengthen all colonies. The time for complete secrecy was over. Now, Earth needed to show its strength. Earth's independent federation now included over 50 star systems. 4 non-council alien species had joined them as allies. The dream that began with rejection was becoming a powerful reality. Colonel Mira Kang walked through the busy streets of New Seoul. The colony had grown into a true city, with tall buildings and parks full of Earth plants. Humans worked alongside Verax and other alien allies. Myre's comm unit buzzed. Colonel, this is Agent Lee. We found something. You need to see this now. 20 minutes later, Myre entered a secure room beneath the government building. Agent Lee and his team had a prisoner, a small purple alien with 6 eyes. This is Ziv, Agent Lee explained. He was caught placing devices near the main water plant. Myre looked at the devices on the table. What are these? A scientist answered. They contain bacteria that would have made the water toxic. If all these had activated, half the city would have gotten sick. Myre turned to the alien. Who sent you? The alien looked down. I can't say. We found this in his ship. Agent Lee handed Myre a small metal disc with a symbol on it. Myre recognized it immediately. It was the mark of the Council's Special Operations Division, their secret agents. The Council sent you to poison our colony. Myre asked, her voice hard. Ziv's 6 eyes blinked rapidly. They said no one would die. Just get sick. Enough to cause panic and make humans leave. Myre felt cold anger rise inside her. The Council was willing to hurt innocent people rather than accept Earth's success. Lock him up. I need to contact Earth immediately. President Yoona Choi listened carefully as Myre explained what happened. The other leaders in the room looked shocked. We have proof, Myre concluded. The Council tried to create an environmental disaster on New Seoul. Admiral Ta 1 slammed his fist on the table. This is an act of war. We should strike back at their nearest base. Yoona raised her hand for silence. If we attack, we give them reason to bring their full fleet against us. We're strong, but not that strong. Not yet. So we do nothing. asked Jinho. No, Yuna smiled. We do something they won't expect. We tell everyone. She turned to her communications director. Prepare a message to be sent to every species in the galaxy, council members and non-members alike. Include all the evidence. Show them how the mighty council tried to poison civilians rather than talk to us like equals. The council will deny it. Admiral Tadwan warned. Of course they will, but many will doubt them, especially the smaller worlds that have felt the council's arrogance themselves. 3 weeks later, Mayray watched the reaction across the galaxy. The council had indeed denied everything, claiming the evidence was fake, but their response came too late. 17 independent worlds had already contacted Earth about possible alliances. 3 council member species demanded an investigation. The council's perfect image was cracking. Mayray's comm unit buzzed again. It was President Yuna. Colonel, good work on handling the New Soul situation. I have a new assignment for you. What is it, Madam President? I'm forming a new department, Intelligence and Security. I want you to lead it. Mayray was surprised. That's a big job. Yes, the council tried to hurt us once. They'll try again. We need to be ready. What will this department do exactly? Protect our people, gather information, and, Yuna paused, find the council's secrets. They've ruled for thousands of years. I don't believe they've done it by being fair and kind. Mayray thought about the poison that would have hurt so many on New Soul. I accept. Good. Your first mission is to find out who on the council ordered the attack. Not just the species, but the exact person. And when I find them, we'll let the galaxy know. The council has hidden in shadows too long. It's time to shine some light. As the call ended, Mayray looked out her window at the bright lights of New Soul. The city had almost been brought to its knees. Instead, it would grow stronger, and the council would learn that humans were not easily defeated. Across the stars, Earth's message continued to spread. The perfect, wise council that everyone feared had tried to poison civilians. The story traveled from world to world, changing how many species viewed the ancient power. Earth had turned the council's attack into a victory, and Mayray was ready to find more of their secrets. 20 years had passed since the council first rejected Earth. What began as a desperate plan had grown into a powerful federation that stretched across the stars. Dr. Junseo stood in his laboratory on Europa Station, looking at the glowing ring in the center of the room. His team of scientists, humans, Verax, and 3 other species, watched nervously as energy built up inside the device. Power at 80%, called out his assistant. The field is stable. Junseo checked the readings on his tablet. For 10 years, he had worked on this project. If it succeeded, it would change everything. 90%, 95%, 100%. The ring hummed louder, and the empty space inside it began to twist and bend. A flash of light made everyone cover their eyes. When they looked again, they saw stars through the ring, but not the stars that should have been there. Connection established with New Soul Lab, his assistant said with excitement in her voice. The wormhole is stable. Junseo couldn't believe it. They had done it. They had created a stable artificial wormhole, a doorway that let ships travel instantly between distant points in space. Send the test probe through, he ordered. A small robot probe floated into the ring and vanished. Seconds later, the team in New Soul reported its arrival, over 15 light-years away. Junseo tapped his comm unit. Get me President Yuna. Tell her Project Doorway was successful. Yuna Choi, now in her second term as Earth's president, received the news with amazement. The Council had always claimed wormhole technology was impossible or too dangerous. They had forbidden research into it. Now Earth had done what they said couldn't be done. How soon until we can use it for ships? She asked Junseo over the video call. 6 months to build bigger rings. We'll need one at each location we want to connect. And how many can we build with our current resources? 20, maybe 30 pairs. Yuna smiled. That's enough to connect all our major worlds. Our ships won't need to spend weeks in faster-than-light travel. We can move people and goods instantly. As she ended the call, another message came in. It was from Yuna Choi, not the president, but her cousin who shared her name. This Yuna was a business leader who had built Earth's largest trading company. Madam President, I just got back from the Rigel system. 3 more independent worlds want to join our trade network. They're tired of paying the Council's high fees. What are they offering? Rare metals, food, and technology. More importantly, they control trade routes that the Council has been using for centuries. Yuna thought for a moment. If they join us, the Council will notice. They already have. A Council trade ship tried to stop my vessel from landing. When I showed them our new defense systems, they backed away quickly. The president laughed. The Council is learning that bullying doesn't work anymore. There's more, Trader Yuna continued. Word about the wormhole technology is spreading. The Council is telling everyone it's dangerous, that we'll destroy the galaxy if we keep using it. They're afraid, President Yuna realized. For thousands of years, they've controlled how quickly people can travel between stars. Now we've changed the rules. On Phoenix Prime, Administrator Jin Ho looked at the first wormhole ring being built in the main shipyard. It was massive, large enough for the biggest ships to pass through. Once this is working, he told his staff, we'll be able to move our entire fleet to any colony within minutes if they're attacked. The Council still has more ships than we do, someone pointed out. True, Jin Ho agreed. But their ships will take weeks to gather. Ours will arrive all at once. A message appeared on his screen. It was from Colonel Mirai, now Director of Intelligence. Jin Ho, my agents report that 3 Council member worlds have secretly contacted us. They want access to our wormhole technology and better trade deals. They're willing to leave the Council if we agree. Jin Ho smiled. Earth hadn't just built its own strength. It was now pulling the Council apart from within. That night, as he looked out at the stars, Jin Ho thought about how far they had come. The Council's rejection had forced Earth to find its own path. That path had led to greater things than anyone could have imagined, and they were just getting started. Earth now controlled more space than many Council members. Their colonies spread across dozens of star systems. Their ships, faster and stronger than ever, moved through wormholes that connected their worlds. Admiral Jai-yun stood on the bridge of the flagship Defender, looking at the battle on the view screen. The Krell, an aggressive species from the far side of the galaxy, had attacked 3 Council worlds without warning. The Council fleet was losing badly. Another Council ship destroyed, reported her tactical officer. Their defense line is breaking. Jai-yun frowned. The Krell were dangerous. If they defeated the Council here, they might attack Earth's territories next. Her comm officer called out, Admiral, incoming message from the Council fleet commander. The face of a bird-like alien appeared on screen. His feathers were ruffled with stress. This is Commander Vox of the Council Defense Force. To any ships in range, we request immediate assistance. The Krell have broken through our outer defenses. Civilian worlds are at risk. Jai-yun's second-in-command whispered, we should let them fail. After how they've treated us. No, Jai-yun cut him off. If the Krell win here, everyone loses. She pressed the comm button. Commander Vox, this is Admiral Jai-yun of the Earth Federation. We have a battle group in position to assist. The alien's eyes widened. Earth, why would you help us? Because some things are more important than old grudges. Stand by. Jai-yun turned to her crew. Signal the fleet. All ships through the wormhole on my mark. On the Council homeworld, the High Council watched in shock as 40 Earth warships suddenly appeared through a wormhole near the battle. Ships that shouldn't have been possible. Technology they had declared too dangerous. The humans are helping us, asked one Council member. Why? Ambassador Hyun-woo Park stepped forward. He had arrived hours earlier with an offer the council had been too proud to accept. "Because that is who we are," he said simply. "But know this, our help comes with conditions." The council leader, an ancient being named Zor, glared at Hyunwoo. "You would blackmail us while our people die." "No, we will help regardless. But afterwards, things must change. The old ways are over." On the main screen, they watched as Earth ships moved with perfect coordination, cutting through the Krull forces with weapons the Council had never seen before. "How did they become so powerful?" whispered one council member. Hyunwoo smiled slightly. "You gave us no choice but to find our own way." Admiral Jae-yun's ships formed a protective wall around the damaged council vessels. Her gunners targeted the Krull ships with precision. "The Krell flagship is changing course," called out her tactical officer. "They're retreating." One by one, the remaining Krell ships followed their leader, jumping away to safety. Commander Vox's face appeared on screen again. "Admiral, thank you. You saved many lives today." Jae-yun nodded. "Help is already on the way to your damaged ships. We'll stay until your reinforcements arrive." When the communication ended, Jae-yun sent a message to Ambassador Hyunwoo. "Battle won. The Council has seen our strength." 2 days later, Hyunwoo stood before the full Council. Every member world was present, either in person or by hologram. "Earth offers a formal alliance," Hyunwoo stated, "but we require 3 things." He held up one finger. "First, Earth and our allies must be recognized as equals, not subjects." A second finger. "Second, all Council technology restrictions must end. Progress cannot be controlled by fear." A third finger. "Third, the Council must reform. All worlds, large or small, must have fair representation." Zor, the Council leader, looked unhappy. "You ask us to change traditions thousands of years old." "Yes," Hyunwoo agreed, "because they no longer work. You needed Earth today. You may need us again tomorrow." A younger council member stood up. "The humans saved my world from the Krell. I vote to accept their terms." Others joined, one by one. "Not all, but enough." Zor looked at Hyunwoo with new respect. "It seems the Council has decided. We accept your conditions, Ambassador." As Hyunwoo left the chamber, he sent a message to Earth. "They've agreed." The power has shifted. On her ship, Admiral Jae-yun received the news with quiet satisfaction. The Council that once rejected Earth now needed them, not just for protection, but for leadership in a changing galaxy. Earth's revenge wasn't destruction. It was becoming the power that others turned to when they needed help most. 30 years had passed since Earth was rejected by the Council. Now Earth's Federation was the strongest power in the galaxy. Their ships traveled through wormholes, their trade network reached hundreds of worlds, and their technology grew more advanced each year. General Dong-hyun stood on the bridge of the Liberation ship Justice. Through the view screen, he could see the planet Nox 3, a small world with blue oceans and green lands. It looked peaceful from space, but Dong-hyun knew the truth. "Status report," he called to his officers. His second-in-command, Major Lee, responded. "Council guards are stationed at these 3 cities. About 2,000 troops total. The rest of the planet has mining camps where the local people are forced to work." Dong-hyun nodded. "Begin landing our forces near the camps. Remember, this is a rescue mission, not an invasion." For years, Earth's intelligence agents had gathered evidence about planets like Nox 3, worlds that the Council claimed to protect, but actually controlled and exploited. The people of Nox 3 had rich mineral deposits on their world, and the Council had taken them by force. "Sir," called his communications officer. "Director Myray is calling from headquarters." Myray's face appeared on the screen. She had led Earth's intelligence service for years, uncovering the Council's darkest secrets. "General, I have important news. Our agents have found the original records from when Earth applied to join the Council." Dong-hyun was surprised. "After all these years?" Where were they? Hidden in the personal files of former council leaders, or he kept them secret even from other council members. What do they say? Mayre's face grew serious. They show that our application was never truly considered. The council saw humans as a potential threat from the beginning. We were growing too quickly, thinking too differently. They planned to keep rejecting us until we gave up or fell apart. Dong Hyun felt cold anger rise inside him. All those years of trying to meet council standards, of changing Earth's ways to please them, it had all been pointless. There's more, Mayre continued. The records show they've done this to other species too. Any race that showed too much potential was kept out, weakened, or controlled. Release these records, Dong Hyun ordered. Let everyone in the galaxy see the truth. Within days, the evidence spread across all worlds. People learned how the Council had manipulated species for thousands of years, keeping some down while favoring others. Worlds that had mineral wealth were protected, really controlled. Species that developed too quickly were blocked from advancement. On Phoenix Prime, now the capital of Earth's Federation, President Han met with representatives from over 50 worlds. Some had been council members. Others had been kept out like Earth. All looked angry. For too long, the council has ruled through lies, President Han told them. They claimed to protect peace, but really protected their own power. A tall blue alien stood up. My world was forced to pay protection fees for 300 years. We believed it was for our safety. Now we know it was theft. Others shared similar stories. Centuries of unfair treatment. Technologies denied. Resources taken. On Nox 3, General Dong Hyun watched as his troops freed the last mining camp. The local people, thin with blue skin, cheered as the council guards were taken away. An elder approached him, moving slowly. We heard that Earth was freeing worlds like ours. We did not believe it at first. The council told us Earth was dangerous. The council told many lies, Dong Hyun replied. What happens now? The elder asked. Your world belongs to your people again. If you wish, you can join Earth's Federation as equals, or you can remain independent. The choice is yours. The elder looked surprised. The council never gave us choices. That's the difference between us and them, Dong Hyun said. His comm unit buzzed. It was President Han. General, 10 more council worlds have declared independence. They're asking to join our federation. And the council, growing smaller each day. Their power was built on secrets and fear. Now that both are gone, they're falling apart. Dong Hyun looked up at the stars visible through Nox 3's clear sky. The galaxy was changing faster than anyone had expected. The council that had stood for thousands of years was crumbling in just weeks. Earth's revenge had come not through war, but through truth. And truth, Dong Hyun thought, was the most powerful weapon of all. Earth had come far from the days when it begged to join the Galactic Council. Now, representatives from over 300 worlds gathered on New Earth, once called Proxima Centauri, for a historic meeting. Ambassador Minji walked into the Great Hall, a building with a glass dome that showed the stars above. Unlike the old council chamber that made visitors feel small, this room was designed so everyone sat at the same level. No species or world was placed above others. As the lead representative from Earth, Minji carried the proposed charter for a new galactic government, the Galactic Confederation, a system where all members would have equal voice and equal protection. Are we ready to begin? She asked her assistant. Yes, Ambassador. All delegations are present. Even, he lowered his voice, representatives from what remains of the council. Minji nodded. The once mighty council now controlled only 20 worlds, down from hundreds. Most had left to join Earth's growing alliance or declared independence. The lights dimmed slightly, and Minji stepped to the center of the room. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and colors watched her. Some breathed air, others water or different gases, sitting in special sections with their own environments. Friends, she began. For too long, our galaxy was ruled by fear and secrets. The Council decided which worlds deserved protection, which technologies were allowed, and which species could rise to prominence. She looked around the room, meeting the eyes of many different beings. Earth was rejected by that council. At first, we were angry. Then we decided to build something better on our own. Along the way, we discovered we weren't alone. Many of you had similar experiences. A tall, tentacled being raised an appendage. The council kept my people confined to one planet for 3 centuries, claiming it was for galactic safety. Now we know it was because they feared our natural abilities in space navigation. Others shared similar stories. Species held back because they developed too quickly. Worlds exploited for resources. Technologies suppressed because they threatened council control. Minji held up the charter. Today, we propose something new. Not a council that rules from above, but a confederation where all members stand equal. She outlined the key principles: equal representation for all worlds, regardless of size or power; freedom to develop technology without restriction; mutual defense against threats; free trade between all members; protection for developing worlds without exploitation. Most importantly, Minji continued, no world will ever be rejected for being too different or too ambitious. Diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. From the back of the room, an elderly alien in council robes stood up. And what of us? Those who remain loyal to the old council. Minji smiled. You are welcome to join as equals, or to remain independent. We will not force anyone to join, nor will we reject those who wish to. The room grew quiet as everyone considered what this meant. For thousands of years, the council had been the center of galactic civilization. Now something new was taking its place. One by one, representatives stood to voice their support. Species that once fought each other now stood together. Worlds that had suffered under council rule saw hope for a better future. By the end of the day, 289 worlds had signed the charter. The Galactic Confederation was born. As Minju left the hall, she found a message waiting from President Han. Your grandfather would be proud. Jun Park began this journey when he walked away from the council chamber. You have finished it by creating something better. Minja looked up at the stars. The galaxy was entering a new age, one where Earth led not through force or fear, but through fairness and cooperation. Outside the hall, ships from 100 worlds hovered in space, their lights shining like new stars. The old order was gone. The Confederation had begun. And it all started because the Council had rejected the wrong planet. 50 years had passed since Earth was first rejected by the Galactic Council. The galaxy had changed completely in that time. Jun Park, now an old man with white hair, but still standing tall, walked slowly into the great crystal chamber on Proxima Station. It was the same room where, half a century ago, he had heard the Council's rejection. Now, it served as a historic meeting place for the Galactic Confederation, which governed over 80% of known space. As Jun entered, conversation stopped. Many beings bowed their heads in respect. He was a living legend, the man who began Earth's journey to greatness. Are you ready for this, sir? Asked his young aide. Jun smiled. I've been ready for 50 years. Today was special. The remaining council worlds, now just 12 planets, had formally requested to join the Confederation. Their power was gone. Their influence faded. They had no choice but to join the new order or be left behind. Jun took his place at the greeting table. Beside him stood President Yun Jaewon, a woman in her 40s who had been born on New Seoul. Her grandmother had been among the first colonists. Now, she led the most powerful government in known space. It feels strange, Jun whispered to her, to be on this side of the table. Yun-ji nodded. History has a sense of humor, doesn't it? The doors opened, and the council representatives entered. They wore the same ornate robes their predecessors had worn 50 years ago, but they walked with less confidence, less pride. The lead representative, a tall blue-skinned alien, approached the table and bowed deeply. "The Galactic Council formally requests membership in the Confederation," he said, his voice carrying through the chamber. Jun remembered standing in this same spot, hearing very different words. The memory made him smile. President Yunji stepped forward. "The Confederation welcomes your request. However, there are conditions." The representative looked surprised. "Conditions?" "Yes, the same rules that apply to all members." Yunji's voice was firm but kind. "First, all worlds under your control must be given the choice to join independently or remain with you. Second, all technologies you have kept secret must be shared with the Confederation Science Division. Third, and most importantly," she paused, looking directly at the council members, "you must acknowledge that the old policy of rejecting species based on potential or difference was wrong. The Confederation welcomes diversity and ambition. We are stronger because of it." The chamber was silent. Everyone watched the council representatives, wondering if their pride would allow such an admission. The blue alien looked down for a moment, then raised his head. "We acknowledge our mistakes. The council's fear of difference led to its downfall. We accept all conditions." A cheer rose from the gathered representatives. Jun felt a weight lift from his shoulders, a weight he had carried for 50 years. Later, as the formal celebration began, Jun stood by a large window overlooking the space around New Earth. Ships of all designs moved through space. In the distance, a wormhole opened, and vessels from the far side of the galaxy arrived in seconds. Admiral Wonho, once a young cadet who had watched Earth begin its independent journey, joined him at the window. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Wonho said. "When I was a cadet, we had 5 ships, all old models. Now look at us." Jun nodded. "We built something better than I ever imagined." Was it worth it? All those years of struggle? "Look around." Jun gestured to the chamber where beings from hundreds of worlds talked, laughed, and shared ideas freely. "We didn't just build an empire. We built a home for everyone who was ever told they didn't belong." On the observation deck below, Jun noticed a small child, half human, half Pharax, looking up at the stars with wonder. The child turned to an older man beside her. "Grandpa, what was it like before the Confederation?" The old man, who Jun recognized as Subin's son, smiled and began to tell the story. Jun watched them, feeling a deep sense of peace. Earth had been rejected, but that rejection had led to something greater than acceptance ever could have. In the end, Earth's revenge wasn't about power or control. It was about building a better galaxy for everyone, even for those who once turned them away.